Hang on. So, Belinda, this is all about how the sound of your name creates your reality.
Yeah.
And I was going to get a little talk about how soul contract reading works and
hmm
talking about how our karma creates the sound of our name creates our soul contract. Um, and from that, we can determine what karmic patterns we face, what talents we have to overcome it, and what goals we're here to achieve, both physically and spiritually. And
That's very interesting.
what our soul destiny is, what our real purpose is. So allows you to focus on what's really important in life rather than wasting time in all the games of the ego, and you can actually put into context all of the weird and wonderful things that we go through in life and learn what the lessons are, how to take those lessons from wherever you are and move forward and basically align to your true purpose. How does that sound?
Wonderful, because I have heard about different types of things regarding sounding of the name. Uh, the one person that I know of, she does like um, Jewish, the sounding in the Jewish syllables and that. And then there was another person who I listened to who was also into the sound of names and the spelling of your name and that kind of thing. That was very um, involved by the looks of things and highly mathematical. Um, and then, but many, many years ago, uh, I was still a teenager then, and I was introduced to uh, different letters of your name being having a numerological um, assignment to it. And I was very intrigued with that, but I haven't looked much further, so this will be very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we can do a demo on your name if you want
Yeah,
to, what your life is
sure.
all about.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be lovely. Why
yeah,
not?
yeah. Um, just want to check out and what's brought you here, just so I understand what you need. Just want to unmute there. It's on the bottom left there. You can unmute if you only if you want to. All right. Teresa,
Yes.
yeah, what's brought you here? What do you need from this webinar? Just because I mold the webinar around what you need, so it's
Okay, so I've already done my name. I know what my karma and my stuff is. And now I'm looking at learning how to do this. I've read your book.
yeah. Oh, you mean you want to train to be able to do this? Is that what you mean?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's see. And if you do you want to share anything? Don't have to if you don't want. We can just put it in the chat. You can participate as much as or little as you like.
Okay,
Just so
perfect. Thank you.
just so I understand what you need, Anne. Um, so otherwise you can just observe.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
So Teresa and Belinda, are you open to coming on into the panelist room where you can switch your video on so I can connect with you a bit more? We can have a more in-depth discussion.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
yes,
fine. I've been
yes.
gardening, so I look a mess. So,
That's
but just
okay. It's okay. So just saying yes to being a panelist, a little pop-up will come. It's easier if I can see you to connect with you. Um, and that's optional for you as well, and only if you want to. We can just stay in the panelist room. Okay. But the more you participate, the more you'll get from it. But it's entirely up to you.
okay. My picture isn't coming up, but that's fine. If you can
Um,
go for that.
you need to switch on the video on the bottom left. So a little pop-up will come up.
Okay, there we go.
Just say
There we
yes to
go.
the pop-up.
There we go. Yeah, no,
There you go. I can see you now.
I'm on my phone, so it's
It's okay.
it's a little bit more complicated than being on my um PC. So yeah.
Yeah, as long as we can see you, it makes it a bit easier. So, Belinda, where are you from? Just so I got a bit of background.
Originally, I'm from South Africa, but I've been living in the UK for the last 21 years.
Okay. And sort of what got you on the spiritual journey? So I got a little bit of background there.
Um, I've always been interested. I didn't know too much about things, but from a little girl, I, my mother wanted, this is a long story, but anyway, my mother wanted to move, and she said, "How do you feel about moving?" I said, "Well, so long as I can go to Sunday school on a Sunday, you can move wherever you like." It was a promise I was looking for her, so that because it's something I knew I needed right from a child. Then get older and stuff, mm, skipping quite a few years, I was a midwife and had my own practice. And with that, my whole awareness was well multiplied, and I had all different types of clients who were into alternative therapies, which I was beginning to go into because medical science doesn't answer everything, as I discovered personally. And then I started looking into um, not only alternative therapies, but questioning all sorts of beliefs and that kind of thing. And yeah, and now I'm a healer and, dealing with past lives and future lives and all sorts of things like that. So is that, that explain?
Yep, gives me a good background. All right.
Okay.
Teresa, what's brought you here?
I'm a learner. I love to learn, and I have been reading your books, other spiritual books, a lot of different things. I've studied astrology. I've studied numerology. I've started to journey and connect with my inner self. Just really fascinated by that. So this is just something that's really interested me.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, on that note, I love to learn as well. I've also done astrology and studied it, and so yeah, I mean, wherever there's something to learn, I love to learn it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to share the screen now. Okay, and I'll do a little presentation because a lot of the guys will watch us as a recording, so they need to get a bit of background of what's going on here. Some people will come sort of cold. So, okay, so this free webinar is about how to help others transmute their karma into their gifts of service. Okay. And I'm Nicolas David Ngan of the Centre for Conscious Ascension. And I'll read out this advertising blurb as a formal, but then we can relax. So, have you noticed how people turn away from their biggest karmic challenges they face in their lives, no matter how hard they've tried, as they're just too painful for them to face, as they lack the spiritual map of life over how to overcome them? This free live webinar is how you can go and help these others if you're thinking about learning this work on the training or just learning it in general. Help others identify these core karmic patterns and how to go about transmuting them so they can deliver their gift of service to the world, that special thing they've been looking for their entire life. So we found out why you guys are here. I sort of should say why I'm here. I had a reading from Frank Alpert, the founder of this work, back in 1990, and it completely changed my life. It took me from a life of a lot of chaos, where I had no idea what was going on, and he asked me for my birth certificate name, and he drew a Star of David on a piece of paper, and then he translated the sounds of my name into Hebrew sounds, and out of the Hebrew, he derived the Hebrew numbers, extracted them, because numbers and letters are the same in Hebrew, and then he did a bit of maths on the Star of David, and then he explained my entire life in an hour, which completely changed my direction, and it was all talking about being a teacher. And so I was so inspired that I was in America going on my first big spiritual workshop there. And I asked him, well, where can I learn this? And he said, well, I'm teaching it in 6 weeks' time. So I stayed on in America until the second class to go on that training. And that's how I learned this work. It was called the Spiritual Numerology of Moses in those days, but my guidance team, high dimensional guidance team, recommended I change it to soul contract reading so it was more differentiated from normal conventional numerology, because it's quite different. That what it does is that rather than assigning numbers to the Roman alphabet, it basically takes the inherent sounds of Hebrew within your birth name and extracts those numbers. So it's very direct frequency from God. So let's talk about this karma, which we've been mentioning already. So our karma contains our spiritual gift of service, which may sound like a really strange thing to say, given how strong our karma can be. And so it's one of the paradoxes of life here. So rather than attracting the good stuff in life initially, with the law of attraction, we have the law of opposites running, the ones you weren't told about. And that creates everything which is the opposite of what we want in life or what we're here to do. And the reason for that is so that we get a lot of stuff we don't like, as you might have noticed when you were younger. So we get clear what we do want. Okay. And once we get clear what we do want, and we work on our karmic stuff, we turn into our karma. So it's an unusual concept for most people. Most people want to run away from their karma, or the ego wants to run away. We turn into the karma. We can claim what we call our gift of service. Okay, for example, if you feel disempowered or bullied at school, and it's in your karmic position, the aim is to turn into it, to transmute that disempowerment into positive power, so you can become empowered and take that power out into the world to make a difference. So that's where our true gifts lie, and very few people realize that. So our karma is our greatest learning, really, so we can bring our spiritual mission online. So let me get the next slide here, but we'll do it. So, and a lot of people are struggling to find their way forward in life, finding out what their true purpose is, because they're looking in the wrong place. So this work explains that if you became a soul contract reader, you trained to learn how to do this, it enables you to decode the secrets of the blueprint of life for spiritual seekers, hidden within the sounds of their name. And it's programmed into our DNA, into our energy fields, and into this fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional cobweb-like substance called karmic matrix. And that radiates out to the reality, and it creates our reality in every moment. So if we can understand what's creating our reality, then we can start to change things. And this spiritual map of life, formed by the soul contract, helps you empower people to overcome their karma, which is what most people face their whole life. And it's hard for most people to make any progress with that. Express more of their talents, achieve their goals, and manifest their soul life purpose. That's what this map allows people to do. I just need to plug in a fan on my laptop because it's starting to overheat just a minute. Very hot here in England for a change. So how do we actually do that? How do we decode these blueprints? So we take your name, which the soul has chosen for you, and a name is a set of frequencies in whatever language it's in, and it's a sequence of frequencies. Okay, and then we decode it using the Star of David, so that the name is actually woven into your energy fields. It's a frequency that forms you from the beginning. It creates your physical and energetic bodies. And the way we decode the name is we have 7 different aspects that the name creates within us. So we have a large downward pointing physical triangle, which represents the physical side of life, because we as personalities are brand new expressions in each lifetime. So our souls had many past lives, but we are brand new every time, our personality construct. And so we are like a filter, an ego filter, an avatar that the soul wishes to experience life through in a very certain specific way. So for the first 5 cycles of 7 years, so we go in 7-year cycles here. So it's 35 years. Our main focus is on learning to get established in the physical world. Initially, learning to walk and talk, get conditional responses, education, career, relationships, marriage, kids, houses, careers. And within the ages of 35 and 42, the 6th cycle, or earlier, the spiritual triangle, which has already been activated but becomes more predominant. It's where the spiritual mission comes online. It's where we people have the midlife crisis or dark night of the soul or some sort of awakening where they realize there's got to be more to it than what I'm doing. I was sitting in a glass box in the city in London in corporate finance when I was 37, and I was told literally there was a white cloud flew by on a bright blue summer's day about this time back in 1997. The message from this cloud, which was shaped like an angel, the only cloud in the sky, was it's time to leave. It's time to get on with the mission. And I left that job 6 months later, which wasn't what I expected to do. I'd just been doing this work part-time in the weekends. So that's when the spiritual mission comes online. And the soul's hoping to build that on the foundation of the physical triangle sitting here. And so I'm still doing this work 28 years later, and a lot happier than I was working in the corporate world. So within each of these triangles, in the physical triangle, are these 3 aspects: these karma, talents, and goals. And karma is a set of unresolved past life issues the soul puts in place for us to overcome to turn into our gifts of service. And we overcome them by activating our latent physical talents, which then feed into the karmic pattern, and it transmutes it. And we work on it consciously to transmute it layer by layer into positive energy of that number. And as the talents get stronger, it infuses into the physical goals, which is like what gets us out of bed in the morning, what excites us about life. It infuses into there so that we can actually bring those online. So energy flows from physical karma to physical talents to physical goals. And then the same happens in the spiritual triangle. Energy flows from spiritual karma to spiritual talents to spiritual goals. So our spiritual karma is how we disconnect from high consciousness. Okay, and so the goal of that is to reconnect so we can embody more of our gifts. And if we consciously work on all these 6 outer aspects, what happens over time goes this way. This is percentage complete. As if we consciously work on it, we go like this. If we don't know what's going on, we go like this. It's very slow to grow. And as we work on each of these 6 outer aspects, they contribute towards revealing layer by layer our soul destiny. So our true purpose is revealed when we're ready, layer by layer. So this is actually how we consciously grow. And the idea is to work through all these aspects and to dissolve our ego so that we become a surrendered, walking, talking expression of our spirit, the part of us not embodied, and the soul, the part embodied, to deliver our gift of service to the world. And feel free to ask questions anytime, guys. So, Belinda, should we find out why you're here?
Yeah, let's.
You up for that?
Yep.
Let's do it. Okay. So, okay. So, what's your current name, Belinda? I need to give us a file name, Belinda.
Patricia,
Yeah.
Dawn,
Yeah.
Weinman, W-E-I-M-A-N-N.
Yeah. Is
That's
it the
my birth certificate name, yeah?
Okay, so that's the name. So you just, what do you go as Belinda Wyman most of the time, or?
No, I go as Belinda Pountney, because I was adopted by Pountney.
Okay,
So
how do I spell that?
P-O-U-N-T-N-E-Y.
Poutntn. Okay. We won't put your birth date in because for data protection reasons, because it's a public video. What star sign are you though?
I am Aries.
Aries. Okay. Right, and you're consenting to do this today, and it's
Yeah.
the 19th of June.
Can I ask a question here?
Yeah.
There's somebody who also in England who also does sounding like this kind of system. And she says that you have to go by your birth name and your full birth name that's on your birth certificate.
That's what we're using here. Yeah. But I need your current name as a file name. So if I need to find you, I know. Because some people's birth names and current names are completely different, you see.
Okay. All right.
So
Gotcha.
we're gonna use a birth name, so don't worry. So
all right.
the
Yeah.
software just needs to know a way of finding you. Okay.
Sure.
So this software is soulcontractreader.com. Anyone who's watching wants to generate their own name, you can get four free charts like this from it. Okay. And then there's a small fee to pay for anything else beyond that.
You spelled my name incorrectly. The surname is Wein M for man.
Okay, we'll go and edit that. It's easily fixed. Like that.
I can't see because I'm on my phone. Let me.
Weinmann.
Correct.
Okay, that's easily fixed. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Look okay now.
Yes. That's.
So we take your name here. So this is straight English. It's not Afrikaans.
No.
Straight English. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So what software does is it uses 22 ancient Hebrew sounds to match the sound of your name in English. Okay, and these are the sounds here. Sometimes some English letters, some English sounds, two letters, like a TA will form one Hebrew sound, which is why we check that. Okay. And then what happens is that software then extracts the Hebrew number, which is inherent within the Hebrew sound, which is the main difference here to normal Pythagorean numerology. So numbers and letters are the same symbol in Hebrew. They're not allocated. So we have all these Hebrew numbers, and the soul of Moses channeled over a period of 9 months to Frank Alpha, my teacher, who brought the founder of this work, what each number meant, depending on where they are in these different aspects. So we're going to find out what's going on for you. So the way we decode this is quite straightforward. We take the first 6 numbers here, we allocate them starting at physical karma around the star date. So we go 2, 5, 12, 10, 14, 4. Then we go the next 6, then we go 1, 17, 1, 9, 20, 10. And we keep going around the star date until we use them all up. Then we add up the numbers. So the total is to find out what each aspect numbers are. So in physical karma, the total is 29. And because we only have 22 numbers and 22 interpretations, it doesn't have any meaning. It's greater than 22. So we need to reduce it to the first number between 1 and 22. So we simply go 9, 2 plus 9 equals 11. Comes the first number there. And the second number here, we go 1 plus 1 equals 2. Becomes this number here. So we have the energies of a pure 11 in Hebrew and a pure 2 in Hebrew. And these are two frequencies, plus you have every blend in between depending on where you are on a given day. So this is like hot and cold taps in a shower. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's called a combination number because it's a combination of two different numbers. And we take the spiritual karma, the total is 52. That's greater than 22, so we can't use that by itself. Making more room on my disk here. So we go 5 plus 2 equals 7.
Mm-hmm.
So then we go, 7 can't be reduced anymore. So we get 7 plus nothing produces another 7. So we get what's called a double number. We get a single frequency here. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a one frequency of the 7 to learn from, but there's two frequencies to learn from here. So some parts of your chart, the 7s and the 6s here, the soul wants to learn only one specific thing in those frequencies, whereas 11, 2, and 13, 4s are more broader. So we figure out all the other numbers accordingly. We take the physical numbers, place them on the top half of this table, spiritual numbers on the bottom half. Then we add the totals up. Total on the left-hand side is 49, right-hand side is 31. So 4 plus 9, because it has to be less than 20, becomes 13. 3 plus 1 becomes 4. So that's the soul destiny. 13 4 is popped in the middle here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we draw these squiggly symbols that Frank channeled through, which give me a gateway to the soul in terms of what I need to tell you here, Belinda. So we're giving you a short taster reading, a little bit on each number. So maybe you want to ask me, what's the key question you have about your life, Belinda?
Am I on the right path, I guess?
Yeah. Okay. And what would you define the path to be at the moment? Just being a healer?
I guess to heal myself and heal others and be of service.
Okay. All right. So let's take a look at this. Okay. So the soul destiny here, I'll start with that for a change. The soul destiny is to come into the divine feminine aspect of God and to come into the unconditional love of the divine feminine aspect of God and to share it. And to share the flow of that in the world, to look after others with unconditional love. That's the goal of this lifetime. How does that sound as a goal?
It sounds like I'm in alignment.
Yeah. Look after everybody.
Yeah. People tell me their stories without me even knowing their names. If I just, I've had to put up boundaries for that because sometimes it's not energetically okay. But yeah.
Yeah. So you had to look after others. Do you have any kids, Belinda?
No.
Okay. So you had to look after God's children, all those who come to you. It's children of some sort. You hear to be divine feminine. Okay. That's the goal. So we start at the end where you come. So in order to get there, in physical karma, you have an 11-2. Now, did you feel lost at school initially with learning?
Yeah. Yes. I felt very alone, very different, not part of anybody, but I was okay with that.
Yeah. Okay. So the idea with the 11 is here to take all sorts of concepts and ideas and to discern what is true for you and build your own unique structure of truth. Yeah. Okay. And then to throw away all the things which don't resonate with you in terms of concepts and ideas, throw those away in the trash. And how's that been going, building your own structure of truth?
Liberating and challenging at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I don't follow the crowd,
Yeah.
I get ostracized, but I'm trying to live my own truth, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then you had to build your own unique structure of truth, remove all the imprints from childhood of all the things imposed upon you unconsciously by parents. Okay, because you're an empath, Belinda. It says here, hypersensitive empath, and to
Yes,
remove and you're processing all the ancestral unresolved family garbage, emotional garbage, to get rid
crap.
of that
Yes,
and build your own truth. Okay,
yeah.
you're living
Hmm.
with a lot of stuff which isn't yours. And then the two here is resiliency, a little spring that moves up and down. You're here to actually learn to sit on the spring and to observe situations, to learn wisdom and to not act impulsively. Okay. Have you acted impulsively when you were younger?
Yes,
Did it get you in a lot of trouble?
can't remember, but I guess so. I got into trouble more so for my siblings because everything they did wrong, I should know better because I'm the eldest. Uh, get me into a lot of trouble for being impulsive. In a way, I was restricted a lot, so I had a very controlling mother, so there was not much leeway for me to act out my impulses, really.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Because this is foolishness to wisdom, this learning. So if you act impulsively when you're on the spring, when it's moving up and down, because you misperceive the situation, you make a foolish decision, but you learn wisdom very quickly from it. Because you're here to bring wisdom to the world, because this is all about sharing from the heart, lots of knowledge here and here. Okay. And to share your own unique structural truth. Okay. Are you very creative, Belinda?
um,
All these sixes, this is great creativity here.
I can be, but I can't draw a stick figure to save my life. So I'm creative in unusual things. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah. So the idea with this creativity, which is not just necessarily artistic, it's about taking an idea that's true to you, because you've got a talent here, it's in both talent positions, and it's a goal here and spiritual goals. So take that idea and step by step turning it into a manifest physical form out in the world. Okay.
Mm.
All right. And so you could be here with this idea that really resonates with you in your mind and say, I want to create it over here. You have to stay focused and step by step manifest it by staying focused and completing it, not getting distracted by all the other ideas that come to you along the way.
Mm.
Okay. And to learn to don't worry about trying to take the great leap forward because part of you will hesitate because it's not guaranteed success, but stay focused and step by step you'll actually achieve the goal. And know that all these distracting ideas, there's only enough time to do a few of them. So pick the ones which open your heart the most, which is this one here. Okay. How does that sound?
Mm. Exciting.
Yeah. Does it sound like what you've been through, trying to get focused here?
Yeah, I have lots of interests.
I know. I'm sure you do.
So yes, but recently I have been to a lot of I've been called towards a lot of spirituality kind of things like doing the astrology course and doing the healing course I've just completed and receiving healing as well as giving healing myself. So that's a big, those kind of things really ignite my soul.
Yeah. Just know there's only so much time to do things. So you want to just pick the ones which are really strong in terms of heart opening for you.
Yeah. The
And do
rest
them.
of the time, I mean, I do other things because sometimes you have to just have a bit of balance.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you're very much here to stay focused, make things happen, be very grounded. And the physical goal is to learn to trust in the flow of the divine feminine and you may be presented challenges at times. Just take leaps of faith, not knowing whether it's going to work or not. Could be financial ones, especially. Take leaps of faith, and once you take that leap of faith, it all works out. Does that sound familiar?
Oh, absolutely. Especially the especially the financial, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But you're here basically to look after others. And
Sorry?
you're here to look after others. You're here to actually heal the wounded heart from childhood, from the loss of your birth mother, emotional loss. Have you met her? Do you know her?
Yeah, when I say I was adopted, I know I was illegitimate, and then my mum married the person I call dad, who adopted me when I was about 4 years old.
So you still,
So,
so
so
your
it was my real mother,
was
but
your
my
real mother?
stepdad, real mother, but my stepfather.
Okay. All right. So you didn't lose your biological mother because that can happen with us sometimes, to
Okay,
emotionally losing her. Okay. So what was your relationship like with her?
very trying,
Yeah. So
challenging.
this is saying a challenging relationship, which can lead you to shield the heart at times from
Absolutely.
the that challenge. But in the end, how old is she now?
She's 68.
Yeah.
I mean 78, 78.
Yeah. So in the end, you become like the mother to look after her as she gets older.
I can't do that. I
Yeah.
looked after my dad until he was dead, and I just can't look after her as well.
Yeah. Okay. We looked after somebody, some parent. Often it's
Yeah,
the father, but it sounds like it was the father this time.
yeah.
Okay. So you're here to heal the heart wound from the mother here. Okay.
Hmm.
To learn to heal the wounded heart here, the hidden part of you that's hiding away, and then to drop the facade the ego puts out to protect itself from the heart wound and become one person with an open heart who's magnetizing people with their soul's energy to create groups of people. And these groups of people are here for you to, your authentic self, for you to facilitate that group and to teach them and share knowledge with. You're here to build networks, Belinda. Okay. So very much you're here to build networks to share love and structures of truth. That's what this lifetime is about. Okay.
Okay.
Sound about right?
It definitely resonates. Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right. Thank you for
Thank you
sharing.
very much. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Um, it's very eye-opening.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, soothing the soul because I know I've been on the right track. I've been doing me. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So, Teresa, should we have a quick look at your chart?
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. I'll put this is your birth name, isn't it? You give me in the chat.
Yes. Yes.
Mm. And you're a Sag.
Yes.
Okay. Mm. Okay. So what's the main question you've got about your life?
Okay. So with the physical karma and the spiritual karma both being nines, what is
Yes.
that? How does that resonate?
That means you're really up against it. It means it's all about in the past lives with another personality, many lives, your soul's misused power, and you're here to come in to learn about the proper use of power. So the nine, the dragon, it means like a disempowered dragon who's here to learn to throw off the shackles holding you down and to claim your power back. So did you have a tough time as a child with the
Yeah.
parents, school,
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
what stuff happened?
Oh, I never lived right.
Yeah,
I was doing things wrong.
yeah, yeah. So you're here to clear the trauma of that childhood, okay, in school or whatever, bullying or whatever went on, to then to come into your power. That's what this whole lifetime is about, is coming into your own power. and to learn to use that power properly. And it's about accessing what we call the shadow destroyer archetype. So you would have been a perpetrator and misuser of power, or another personality, not you, in previous lifetimes with the same soul. So you had to learn to use that power properly, and you had to use that power to catalyze people to awaken spiritually. Okay, because you're here really as a teacher with a 12-3. You're to absorb and expand knowledge and teach people, and to form a teaching space or a center for them to come into and learn about and achieve their goals. So you're here to bring spiritual energies down to the earth plane, create a high frequency space, and to teach them, and to empower them, and to emotionally connect with them with the 8, with an open heart, so that you're a pure service of spiritual energies to humanity. That's the mission. How's that sound?
Awesome.
Yep. That's why you're here.
The 9s were making me nervous.
There's a way through it. It just takes time. There's a way through it. You know, if you come on the training, we're going to talk a lot about what you do with those 9s. There are techniques, because I've got a pair of these, and I know they're very tough. Okay, but there are ways of, if you're patient, there are ways of getting through those and claiming your power. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Right.
Thank you.
So don't give up on that. All right. Any questions, you guys, so far? We go to the next thing. Thanks for sharing your charts. It's giving people a good idea how it works. Okay. All right. Okay. So back to the presentation here. Okay. So don't worry about that. So learning this work, if you're thinking about learning, coming along, okay, here's what you can do to become a practitioner on our training. As a therapist, counselor, coach, or one-on-one therapist, or trainer, or facilitator, this will give you the spiritual map of your clients' lives. And it will give you an immediate and profound understanding of their issues, which will accurately guide you throughout all your work with them. And because you know it's true and they know it's true, it breaks down a lot of the ego resistance to trying to hold you as a therapist or facilitator away from them, so that they can actually get on with what's really important, what's true. So people who have this work and you combine it with your healing tools as well, you can focus your healing tools very specifically on what the client needs. So they're going to get there a lot quicker. And it means people come back repeatedly, simply because they know that you know exactly what to work on. So it produces better and faster results as a therapist. A lot of our practitioners are already therapists, and they integrate it as the core underlying structure to guide them when they work with their clients. There's no guesswork anymore. You know what's going on. It's just a matter of working on the things as they emerge. Okay. So we run a 5-day training on Zoom. So you learn a structure of how you can understand yourself and everyone else in your life. And you learn how to give these readings, in fact, very good readings based on people's birth names through interpreting the energies associated with the 22 letters of Hebrew. We help you open your channel up and how to develop it, because giving a soul contract reading is like having a cosmic conversation. Your higher self and the client's higher self are talking to each other, and they're channeling through you, and you're giving a message to the personality of your client from their higher self, or what they need to hear in that moment. And it's a very pivotal moment. It's life-changing, having a reading. You think about, Teresa, when you first discovered this work, how powerful it was, okay? So when you transmit to someone the truth of what's going on, they will be forever changed. Okay, so the learning is experiential. You've read the book, Teresa. It's not about learning more about the book. Okay, this is experiential learning. It's bodily transmission. You sit in the field with us for 5 days. And the first 3 days, we use examples of the charts, of specific aspects of everyone in the class's charts, and they will share their subjective experience or what their numbers were like. And the sharing of that experience, matching up with the interpretations in the manual. We don't go and read the manual out, which the book is based upon. we just talk about what the reality, subjective reality of each number is like for real. And then you hear these people and the challenges and the pain they've been through and how they went through, how they overcame them. You'll never forget that. And so you actually become the work in the training. We activate it in you, and we connect you to your guidance team. We activate it in your DNA. We clear barriers in your personality to embodying the truth. Because most people come who have been wise women or men in the past and often got persecuted for that. So you become the work in the first 3 days. And then on the fourth and fifth day, we teach you how to hold space to channel and deliver the reading. And you'll be amazed what will come out your mouth. You'll be amazed how good you are. But it's taken us 30 years to figure out how to teach this stuff. Okay. So basically you become the work. So it's far beyond the book. It's very much right-brained, immersive, experiential bodily learning, what we do with us. Okay. And we support you with ongoing, we have a Facebook peer-to-peer support group. And we also have an optional support program, which we also run as well, which Antigone Langley, my co-teacher, runs. So we give this transmission in a fifth-dimensional love bubble when we teach it, and then we support you to take it out in your practice in the world, however you want to do that. Okay. So these readings will give your clients a deep feeling of peace when they hear the truth of their lives read so profoundly and accurately for the first time. Feeling of relief is what I had when I had my reading with Frank, to know that there's actually an order and meaning to all the disparate experiences they've had in their lives. Most importantly, those who feel like victims of life, who feel like they've been stuck with their contract's been creating all these very challenging experiences, helps them move out of this place to take charge and step forward into living their true purpose. Okay, so it basically can unstick people with stuff and give people the optimal pathway to move forward. Okay. So we teach you how to show people where they are on their spiritual map of life, and how to give targeted recommendations, how they can overcome the challenges they're facing in the moment to manifest more of their dreams. A lot of people have given up on their dreams because their current patterns are so strong. And it helps people align to their soul life purpose and to manifest it. It touches their inner being immediately and profoundly because it's so truthful. It just slices through all the ego illusion that keeps us asleep, keeps us from moving forward, and creates a very trusting connection so you can go very deep, much deeper in your work with them. And opens you to a deeper level of yourself, of connection to others, and a compassion for humanity, because some people just can't help themselves because of the strength of their programming. So basically you'll be able to prepare and give readings in the group, and you'll be able to deliver good readings to people. Just practice on people in the group and on friends and family initially. Then you better take it out in the world with some practice here and start to deliver this to people. Okay. Any questions so far, ladies, based on what I just said?
Yeah, I have a tendency to over-prepare when I do readings for, like, when I've done, not that I've done many, but astrology readings. I spend a lot of time in over preparing because I don't feel confident in my own abilities. So therefore, my question is based on how much preparation will be necessary in order to do a reading.
Okay, we teach you how to prepare readings. We give 2 demos, full demonstrations of how to prepare readings in terms of tuning in based on tuning into the energy of your client or your fellow practitioner in the training, and how to pick off the key points in the manual which you're going to base your reading on. Okay, because you don't use all of the interpretations because you'd be there for days. Okay, but there are certain key things you have to say. So we teach you how to channel and tune into that. And then we teach you how to put a story together and trust in the flow and surrender, lean back into the divine feminine, into the high consciousness, and it will tell the story through you. Okay. So initially you'll do a lot of preparation, probably over prepare, that's normal. But after a while, what happens is that people just take a few notes. You prepare it 2 or 3 days beforehand, so it uploads into your subconscious. And then you come to the reading, and then you just look at your notes just to remind yourself what you're doing. Then you just engage in the cosmic conversation. It's a dialogue, really, not a reading as such. It's a cosmic dialogue. Then after a while, what happens is that you may make notes and you realize you never actually looked at them, but they were your preparation. You're uploading the client's energy, and you just channeled it. You just had a conversation. It all just came to you. And eventually, what happens with the experienced practitioners, they make no notes at all. They just meditate on the chart. They get this transmission of who the client is, and then they just sit down with them and just talk. It just comes out of them. That takes time, but that's the general progression. So we can help you with that, Belinda, and that's not a problem.
Okay. Thank you.
You start to trust your channel, and then you realize it's all there. But it's not just little Belinda and her earsuit doing this. There's the higher self, the two higher selves. There's the whole guidance team helping you. You're the channel, the intuitive channel interface who's engaging with the client. So you don't have to figure it out all out yourself at all. Okay. Does that help?
Yes, thank you. Big question. The cost, please.
The cost here is £718 or £277 deposit to secure your place. We have payment plans on PayPal if you want. You can pay over 3 payments if you want. And you can find out more at soulcontractreading.com. And in the UK, it runs 12:30 to 8:30 p.m. UK time. We usually run 3 days for the transmission of the numbers, then have a day to integrate and rest, in 2 more days to actually do the practice. Teresa, where are you?
The United States.
Which time zone?
Central.
Okay, so central time for you will be 6:30 in the morning to 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay, and the reason we start later in the UK is so that people in California start at 4:30 to 12:30. Because I can only teach to 8:30. I've tried it, and I can't teach any later than that. So in that way, we cover from the west coast of North America out to Europe. It often goes to India, Middle East, Asia, Australasia as well. Okay, and those you guys are out in Asia. We have an Asian training, Asia Pacific training. We just finished one the other week. That starts at 6 a.m. UK. Whoops. So, but if you are in Australia, East Coast of Australia, it runs from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. New Zealand, 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. If you're in Southeast Asia itself, Malaysia, Hong Kong, 1 to 9 p.m. both times. If you're in the Middle East, it's a very civilized Gulf Standard Time, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it's the same price. There's 2 dates here because it depends on another big training we're not sure is going to run, either the 2nd to the 4th or 6th to 7th of April next year, or 12th to 14th to 16th to 17th of June. This is still provisional. Depends on a few other things, but it'll probably run either on one of those dates or close to it. Okay. So let's have a look. Okay. So any other questions, you guys? Teresa, do you have any other questions?
I don't.
I do. How often do you run this course in a year?
We run one in spring, usually around February, March. The next one here is the autumn one. Okay, that's September. Okay, then the next one after that will be March 2026. Then there'll be the Asia Pacific training. So if you're an early riser, it runs at 6 o'clock UK time. Okay.
Not for me.
All right, and then after, because some people in Europe want to do it early, so they come on this one. It was designed originally for Australasia and Southeast Asia. And then after that, there'd be another one in probably September, October 2026. Okay, so basically for you, Belinda, spring and autumn, twice a year. You're right.
Okay. And the payments, do they need to be made? How soon before the actual date of training do the payments need to be made?
Well, as long as you paid within about 24, 48 hours before the training starts, the main thing is to secure a place because it's already booking up already, the September one. Okay. So you can pay close to the time, or you can pay a deposit to secure your place. That's what we recommend because it sets the energy in motion because the transmission starts from the moment you pay the deposit. So you're learning already. Then you can just pay, as long as you pay 48 hours before, because what happens is once you get full payment, you get access to the back office, you get access to all the material because you've got to download 2 manuals, which are about 110 pages each, and print them off. Okay, plus there's a lot of presentation packs and things. So you need a bit of time to do that, and you've got to put it into a binder. You can't just watch it on the screen because we use multiple pages of all the manuals when we're training. So you don't want to be in a last minute rush. But yeah, it needs full payment to receive the access to get the downloads. So yeah, that's probably the most cost. If you're looking at cash flow, they'll probably delay the payment as long as possible, deposit, and then wait to the last minute to pay the balance.
Yeah. There was another question, but it's escaped me at the moment. But thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Okay. Teresa, any questions? And you got me here? Any remaining questions?
Nope, you've answered them all. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Oh, it came to you, Belinda.
Sorry. How big are the classes?
It can range from 8 to 10 people to up to 28, 30 people. Depends on the interest. Okay. But we have 2 teachers, 2 primary teachers, Antigone and I. We have about 60, 70 years between us. Plus you'll have trainee teachers who are very experienced, who are teaching portions of the class. So you probably have about 4 or 5 of us, different people teaching different sections of the training so that you get different energies. So it keeps you on your toes and they have different perspectives. So, and you have, so we have a whole team holding the space for you over the 5 days, and they'll supervise your practice. We go into Zoom breakout rooms. So you give and receive sessions twice, readings twice.
Okay. And are they recorded?
Yes, we record the teaching. Everything's recorded. It's put on vimeo.com, our private video channel. Password protected. It stays there forever. It's not made into a product. It's only for you guys in the class. So you can always go back and you're on 11.2, so you can go back and listen to the bits you need to repeat it, and then you can reabsorb that again. Okay.
Okay.
80% of people have charts like you, Belinda, who have 11.2s, and they need time to absorb it multiple times. They also have 5s, which is wanting to know the absolute truth of how life works. That's our primary profile of people who come.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah. You may feel like it's a lot of information on the training, but what we say is that don't try and struggle to remember it consciously. It's not about that. It's about just surrendering, leaning back into the feminine, and letting the transmission hit you. And what happens is it gradually activates in you over time.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Nicolas.
All right.
Much appreciated.
Okay, thanks for coming, guys. Any last minute things, Teresa, or you got everything you need?
Yes, I have everything I need. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
All right. We'll have the recording out in a couple of days. Okay. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.